of the story, we're joined by one of the survivors of the unrest, Ntethelelo Mkhize. Ntethelelo, good evening to you. Thank you so much for making time for us tonight. You know, I'll never forget the image of you giving evidence at the Human Rights Commission's inquiry into that unrest, and you sort of standing up on your seat, lifting your shirt and showing the nation the injuries that you were still recovering from. I think it's appropriate for me to begin by asking, how are you doing? How has your recovery been?
Good evening, Kathy, and greetings to your viewers at home. Life has changed, Kathy. I'm recovering very slow, and I feel government is not doing enough. Because in my case, I even went to court, identified people who killed my friend, people who shot at me, people who touched my car. But till today, those people are not arrested. They are out on the streets. Some people are above the law. So government is failing, and this is very traumatic and psychologically disturbing.
One of the survivors that Karinda spoke to in her story just, said it so well, that there seems to not be an understanding of the fact that people lost things they loved. And it's very hard to emotionally navigate through that loss and also try to deal with the trauma that moment presented. Would you say that you've been able to make that journey over the last 2 years, deal with the trauma?
To tell you the truth, Kathy, I haven't, and it's still going to be a very long journey because, with the pain that I've went through and so much that I've lost the car, I'm still paying for the car, which resulted in me losing even my house, compromise, my kids' education, and the lifestyle at home. The lifestyle is totally compromised. So, there are things that I cannot do. To say, for our minister, to say, they have arrested people, who were instigators. They should themselves be in court because they ignored all the warning signs, all of them. Our president, Ramaphosa, and the whole intelligence team should be running in and out of court, answering why they ignored all the warning signs. But that is not happening.
Ntethelelo, for those that might not know your story, of course, you and your friends were caught up in what were the community barricades that had been set up in and around Phoenix of other residents who at the time were saying that they were protecting their properties.
Kathy, we were not even caught up. We were ambushed by the people. Involving even police, because there were even police members, of Indian color from Phoenix police station. But all those things are being ignored by our government when we say those things. I'm talking about this is a verified information. It's a verified information. Everyone knows, but nothing is happening. This was well orchestrated. They knew it well before. It was well planned. It was just an assassination of African people in the name of the unrest. It's totally unacceptable. We can't have a government who's operating like this, honestly. For just speaking like this, Kathy, I'm risking my life as well. There's so much that I know. There's so much that is going behind cameras. Our government is not telling the truth. Our government is not accounting.
Ntethelelo, at the time that this happened, you, of course, were a lecturer at a TVET college out in Durban. What has your employment situation been like since you, of course, suffered those injuries?
Kathy, as we speak at the moment, I got unpaid leaves, which, again, puts the burden on my financial crisis. I can't even make a lecture over the weekends just to make that extra income. I mean, life has changed. I can't even stand for more than 5 minutes. I have to be seated down every now and then. I can't walk up the stairway, up and down. I can't. A lot has changed.
Yeah.
I don't even have a car at the moment. I'm relying on friends, wife, to move around. And I can't catch public transport because of my condition. I can't even use public transport.
Who would you say is bearing the biggest cost, is bearing the burden of that unrest? Do you think it's people like you?
I wouldn't say, because I'll be, okay, there are people who've lost their loved ones, like my family's friend Unzoza. He was the only breadwinner in his household. They were depending on him. At least I'm alive. I can, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, I'll be fit again. I don't know. There are people who have lost their loved ones. A guy from Dlamini, what's this place in Durban? He was the only breadwinner. There are people who have lost. Just imagine now. Think about their kids. How are they surviving? There's no compensation. There's no justice. There's nothing happening. People are not being arrested. Nothing is happening. You go to court. You chased after investigating officers. You go to police stations. Nothing is happening. We were taken to identify these people who killed our friends. We identified them in court. They were released the very same day. Some people are untouchable. I so wish you can come to Durban and see how corrupt the system is. Just come to KZN and see this.
Ntethelelo Mkhize is a survivor of that July unrest. Incredibly disheartening to hear about your situation and the fact that obviously things have turned for the worse since that unrest. And I really appreciate you taking your time to come onto the show and to speak to us about what your experience has been like. Ntethelelo Mkhize, we'll leave it there for tonight with you.